Hello, I'm Matthew Von Doran. Welcome to the Sheldon Online Music Academy, and we're filming today here in the beautiful Sheldon Theater here in St. Louis. We're going to talk about some elements of jazz guitar, specifically a jazz blues. Now, hopefully you're familiar with the basic blues. We're going to look at how jazz has some more chords going on. There's a little more things involved with it, and I want to show you a way to help learn how to navigate the chords as you improvise over the changes. Let's first talk about the chords that are in a jazz blues. Now, it's a huge subject because there's so much variation. I think that's what overwhelms people, is that right away you realize there's all these different things you can do with the chords and the scales. So let's kind of break it down in some simple elements. For starters, we're going to talk about some chords. There's 5 chords that are going to go on, and I want you to get a pad of paper and a pencil and write this out. Because if you try to manage all this information in your head and play, usually it doesn't work out so well. So we're going to do a blues in C, and the first chord is a C7, C dominant 7. I want you to write C7 with an equal sign, and write C, E, G, and B flat. So it looks just like that. And that is the individual notes of a C dominant 7th chord. Underneath each letter, I want you to write 1, 3, 5, and flat 7. That's the chord formula. So it looks like that. C7 equals C, E, G, B flat, and it's the 1, 3, 5, and flat 7. Now, the next chord I want you to write out, I'll just say them out loud and you write them out, is F dominant 7th. That's F, A, C, and E flat. That is also 1, 3, 5, flat 7. Then we have a G dominant 7th chord, G7 chord. That's G, B, D, and F, also 1, 3, 5, flat 7. And then we have an A dominant 7th chord. That will be A, C sharp, E, and G, also 1, 3, 5, flat 7. Then we're going to do a D minor 7th chord. And that is 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. The letter names are D, F, A, and C. So if you write them out on a sheet of paper, put it on the music stand, you got it right there. You can manage these notes by seeing them rather than trying to keep them in your head, like I say. Now let's play these chords as a jazz blues. Now it's 12 bars long. Each chord shows up in a particular sequence and lasts for either 1 bar or 2 bars or 2 beats. So that is something you'd want to write out also on music paper and just write out a chord chart for if you don't already have a chord chart for the blues. I'm going to use my looper here and play the chords, and then they'll loop around and I can show you some things to play over the chords and improvising. So let me start with a blues in C here, about medium tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll kind of narrate on top of this, the chords as they go by. So you want to write this out too, and you know the chords in sequence and the order of appearance and how long they last, and then you'll have that to reference as well. We're coming around here to the top. I'll just say the chords as they happen. 1, 2, 3, 4. C7 is bar 1, F7 is bar 2, and then C7 for a bar, and then another bar C7. F7 for 2 bars, and then C7 for 1 bar. Here comes the A7, then D minor 7, G7, and then 2 beats of C, 2 beats of A, 2 beats of D minor, 2 beats of G7. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this list of all the notes of the chord, and we're going to pick a particular number and play that number, that note for each chord. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to start with the 1s, also known as the roots. I'm going to stay around the 8th position here, 7th, 8th position. So I'm going to play C, F, C, C. I'm just letting the notes ring. F, they're ringing for 4 beats. C, A, D, G, and then C, A, D, G. So that wasn't very exciting as far as improvisation goes. But the idea here is you're kind of calming everything down, slowing it down so you can manage it and manage these notes. Next, I'm going to go through and play all the threes of each chord, and I'll say the names of them as I play them. Here we go. We're coming around to the top of the blues. 1, 2, 3, 4, E, A, E. E is the third of C7. A is the third of F7. E to C sharp, the third of A. F is the flat 3 of D minor. And B, E, C sharp, F, B, C. It's kind of tricky to play and talk about those at the same time when the chords are going by. But I think you get the idea here is that you can play the 1s, the 3s, the 5s, and the flat 7s of each chord. And I would pick one number per 12-bar blues rather than mixing it up. You can really go to town with this and start trying different things, obviously doing it in different parts of the fretboard and doing combinations of notes. So let me go through again, and I'm going to do the 5s. I'll just jump right in here. We're on coming up to the F7 chord. And G is the 5 of C7, E is the 5 of A7. You can really mix things up in any way you want. Just remember to keep it simple and take it one chord tone at a time, and then after you get that down, you can start to improvise and use each note as kind of a target. Let me do one more pass here and demonstrate that. So what I did there was I used those chord tones to kind of navigate and target certain notes as the chords changed underneath. And it gives your improvisation kind of a sense of purpose, a sense of forward motion. So take all that and spend some time with it and explore what it's like for yourself with your own fingers on your fretboard on your guitar. I'm Matthew Von Doran. Thanks for joining us here at the Sheldon Online Music Academy.